London Bates Johnson was born in 1908 in Texas to a humble and hardworking family. He would later become known as the New Dealer when he won a special election to fill a vacancy seat in the U.S. House of Representatives. He later won the Democratic Party election of the Senate by 87 votes. Because of Johnson's many achievements, like the Civil Rights Act in 1957, Kennedy asked him to be his running mate. Johnson's presence in the election helped Kennedy win important states in the South like Texas. When Kennedy got assassinated, LBJ stepped in line and passed tax reductions of over $10 billion into law. This allowed people to spend more, and businesses got more profit out of it. It also helped tax revenue and lower the federal budget deficit from $6 billion in 1946 to $4 billion in 1966. Later in July, Johnson pushed the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which prohibited discrimination based on race and religion, national origin, sex, and granted the federal government new powers to enforce its provisions. Afterwards, in 1964, Congress enabled EOA, created job corporations, and youth programs. VISTA projected Head Start and education programs for underprivileged preschoolers, community action programs which encourage poor people to participate in public programs. Medicare, healthcare, LBJ provided hospital insurance and low-cost medical insurance for almost every American 65 years of age and older. Medicaid provided Social Security and food and extended health care insurance to food stamp recipients. In 1965, Immigration Act opened non-European immigrants to settle in U.S. by ending the quota based on nationality. A Warren Court banned states praying in public schools and declared state-required loyalty oaths unconstitutional. This reform limited the power of communities to censor books and films and said that free speech included the wearing of black armbands to school by anti-war students. Repatriation, or the way in which states redrew election districts based on changing number of people in them. Thus, the voters in rural areas had more representation and more power than people in urban areas. The impact of the Great Society. Optimization of Johnson's presidency fueled an activist area in all three branches of government for the first few years. Johnson's war on poverty helped the growing number of poor people by decreasing their percentage from 21% to 11% in 1973. Johnson's massive tax cut fueled the Great Society, to which a growing budget deficit. The increases in communist forces in Vietnam began to hinder the goals of the Great Society. America was fearful of communism because of the Cold War era. 4 years later, after the Great Society, Johnson would later be labeled as a hawk, a supporter of the most divisive war in recent history. The end.